What's cooking, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm making this extremely easy homemade bagel recipe. This easy bagel recipe is very similar to my 2-ingredient naan recipe. There are certain variations which you'll see in the video, but you can use the same 2-ingredient naan recipe to make these homemade bagels. They are so easy to make and I was super happy with the results. So stay tuned for the recipe. Do consider subscribing if you're new here and you'd like to join my foodie family. And also hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And now let's get baking. Before we start the recipe, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Here I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour in a large bowl. To this I will be adding baking powder, and I have 2 teaspoons here, so 1 teaspoon per cup of flour. Basically, I am making self-rising flour at home, but you can skip this step and just use self-rising flour if you have that at home already. Then I'm adding a pinch of salt in that, and then with a fork just mixing the dry ingredients up till they are well combined. Now I'm adding Greek yogurt to this. You can also use regular unsweetened yogurt here. I like this specific brand for the taste and the thick texture of it. You want to start combining the yogurt into the flour mixture until it looks like it's becoming a dough, and you can adjust the yogurt amount here as you need to. I added 2 additional heaping tablespoons of the yogurt here because I felt like it needed a little extra. You can also add some water here instead. Then keep kneading it until you see a dough ball forming, and this will be kind of sticky but not totally sticking to your fingers. You can set this aside for 5 to 10 minutes before the next step to let it rest. Now on a clean surface, I'm going to sprinkle some flour on it and then adding the bagel dough that we created, and then some additional flour to properly knead this dough further. Letting it sit for a few minutes before this step helps the dough to really come together and then help the bagels rise when they are baking. Knead it till the dough ball is not sticky anymore but easy to work with in your hands. Form it into a ball. This can be very rustic and roughly done. And then I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces here to portion it out. So this amount of dough makes 4 bagels. You can adjust this recipe however you need if you are making more bagels than I did. After the dough balls have been portioned, I am going to roll out each piece of dough in my hands first, and then on the surface in order to make the classic bagel shape. Once you roll it out into a log shape, you can now bring the 2 ends together to close the shape into a circle as I'm showing here. This is super easy to make and you can definitely involve your kids in this step as it's fun, and it will also help them feel like they created something which they will end up eating. Keep making the bagel shapes until all the dough is used up. Place the bagels onto a baking tray which you can line with parchment paper, but I just didn't have any at home that day. Then let these rest for another 5 minutes. And now let's quickly make an egg wash while the bagels are resting. I have 1 egg here in a small bowl, and to this I am adding a teaspoon of milk. You can use any milk of your choice here, and then just quickly whisk it to make your egg wash, and you can set it aside for now. And now using a brush, gently brush the egg wash on the bagels. This step is important because your topping needs to stick to something, and this will act like a glue basically, but also add a slight shininess to the top like a classic bagel would have. You can use just water or milk instead of the egg wash here as well. I made my own topping at home with ingredients I had in my pantry. This is a sesame seed topping. I used regular sesame seeds, which I always keep at home. Then I used black garlic salt, which I know is not easy to find in supermarkets, but this has like a nice light garlic flavor. You can also use onion seeds or poppy seeds instead here. And then I just added a bit of salt in this mix and combined all the ingredients together to make my own topping. Then just sprinkle the topping on top of the bagels that were egg washed, and that way the topping sticks properly. Sprinkle this on all of the bagels, or you can just put the egg wash and keep the bagels plain, or use any other topping of your choice. Here are all of my bagels prepared to go in the preheated oven. Let's bake these bad boys for 25 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or until they are fully cooked on the inside. And I just want to show you the progress of these bagels at the halfway point as they were baking, and they are already looking quite fabulous. Let's take these bagels out after about 25 minutes. I also added an additional 5 minutes on the broil setting to brown them on the top. Take these out of the oven and let them cool for at least a good 15 minutes before cutting into them. These are looking perfectly baked on the top and at the bottom. And after letting these bagels cool for a bit, let's slice into one of these. They feel just like a classic bagel, hard outer shell and soft on the inside, as you can see here. I'm going to spread some butter on the inside so it can melt, but you can also use cream cheese, which I usually don't keep at home. That's why I'm not using any today. But of course, these will be so great with regular cream cheese or any flavored cream cheese. I made an egg to make a bagel sandwich. This homemade bagel sandwich was super scrumptious and delicious. Let me show you how it looks when you cut through it. And this looks absolutely perfect. I am so happy with how these bagels turned out, and you saw how easy it is to make them. I made them in just about less than an hour, so you have no excuse to try them out at home as well. This recipe had been going viral on social media, so I just had to try it out myself. Hope you guys make this at home too, and let me know in the comments below how it turns out for you. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my super easy homemade bagel recipe. You can use any type of topping that you like and make these homemade bagels. Your family is going to be super impressed by you, because I was super impressed by myself for making these. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe before leaving. I'll be seeing you in the next one, guys. Until then, take care of yourselves.